Welcome back! MTG Joe here, and we're playing some more Strixhaven, the latest set that came out from Wizards. And what we have today is a green-white Magecraft deck in Standard. So Magecraft is an ability that triggers whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, and we have two cards that we're kind of building around as kind of our theme. We have Leonin Lightscribe, a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, all our creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. We also have Clever Luminancer, which we saw in our burn deck in Historic. It gets +2/2 every time we cast an instant or sorcery. So what are we trying to do with the deck? We are trying to go wide and then play a bunch of pump spells or effects like that. So we have Clarion Spirit. Whenever we cast the second spell for the turn, we get to create a 1/1 flyer. We have Tolski to draw us a bunch of cards with all these creatures to get card advantage. And then we have like Jaspara Sentinel just as some initial ramp, Selfless Savior, and those are kind of the creature package. In terms of spells, we have Defiant Strike. It's really just a 1-mana cycler that pumps some power. Adventurous Impulse lets us either get a land or a creature from the top 3 cards, so it's a way to kind of get some card advantage. Crash Through can give trample to one of our big things. Snakeskin Veil's protection. Then we also have Kabira Takedown, which is a land and removal in our deck. And then Show of Confidence, which copies itself for each other spell you cast for the turn, and then you get to put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and it gains Vigilance. The mana base is pretty straightforward. I found with Fabled Passage, you're not playing a lot of lands, so having options of having green and white, the dual land, is more important. I found in a couple just practice games. The sideboard, and please Wizards, fix the sideboard. It's awful. The layout, Giant Killers for big things. We have 2 Soul Guide Lanterns for like graveyard focused decks, 2 Dranith Magistrates for adventures or Sultai Alt, 3 Glass Caskets for creature decks, 2 Chain Webs for the Rogues matchup, a Wilt when we need it, and then 2 Redains for like the big mana like Sultai Alt decks. So let's try this out. I've played literally 1 game with this, so let's just do casual today, see how it goes, traditional standard play. And really we just want to get a feel for the cards. The numbers themselves probably aren't going to be the exact numbers. And really what we want to see is, we know for sure in this Magecraft shell, white will be the base. Is green going to be the color that we want to add? Is it black? Is it blue? Is it red even? Like, it's really just a matter of us seeing how these spells play out and where we want to kind of play around with it. I mean, we have 2 draws. If the opponent has interaction, this hand's a little slow. I think we mulligan. Alright, 5 card special. I think we're just going to keep the lines here. We can power up a Tolski potentially. Opponent's on some sort of adventure pile. What I probably should have done there was play this, because then I could have Tolski next turn. We do have Kabira Takedown, which is pretty nice. I think we're okay passing on that. So we're going to do this. Make sure they don't draw a card. I guess I could have attacked with Jaspara. That's fine. So untapped line would be really good here, because then I wouldn't have to tap my mana. Untap lines. Untap land. We can quickly recover from this mull to 5 if we hit, which we don't. If they have Brazen Borrower, feels kind of bad. This pause suggests that. Wanted to hit a land there. Dragon Guard's Elite. That's interesting in the Adventure Shell. Gives you another 2-drop to kind of scale up. Yeah, let's just go to... we'll give it one more turn. If they have like a stomp though, then we're pretty dead. Multi 5 and they had Brazy Bee and a Bone Crusher for us. Take the damage here. See what their follow-up is. Unnecessarily took the damage there. We're gonna keep this. This is potential removal. They could double the counters here. Presents more damage this way. Actually, we should have just done Bone Crusher. So I can just double the counters here. See what they do. So this can become 4 power, so I don't want to do that. If they have a burn spell here, they have it. Yep. That takes it off creature, so I don't get the effect now. It's actually pretty good in that deck. So we need to use this as a blocker here because they can just double the mana. They also just flash this in. I think we can just go to sideboard. The multi 5 really hurt us there. Glass Caskets, Draniths, and the Giant Killers. Stomps don't feel great. And they have Brazen Borrower as well. So let's get rid of Adventurous. Let's get rid of Jaspara. The Snakeskin Veils can be good. Think we trim a Tolski. Just probably show of confidence. And maybe a Light Scribe, or maybe a Crash Through. It's interesting because we have to keep a certain amount of instant and sorceries. 15. But we do have the adventure half of this, which counts as well. Let's get rid of a Defiant Strike. Alright, this at least gives more power, can allow us to trade through. like on a block, like our 2-power things, you can make a 3-power, so we can get some damage in that way. Let's go. Spells. I realized I only updated half the lands in the deck. So, I guess I could wait, because if they have Bone Crusher Giant, I could, like, prevent the damage. Yeah, now I'm punished. So that was a punt on my end. Yeah, I shouldn't have got that aggressive, just on the 2 damage and then passed the turn. Knowing they had it, makes sense to do that. So here, let's just scry. I don't think we want Snakeskin Veil at this point. So we have Takedown, we can have this to tap down some stuff. I might just cycle. This looks like Stomp. So I'm actually going to do this now, because if they have a Stomp or a Brazen, then I don't want them to get the value off it. Kind of wish we had that snake skin right now. So we could see a Stomp out of them, perhaps. Could also just be Brazen Borrower. So this resolves. That's 3 power. This card seems really good actually in Adventures. Kind of like that shell. Yeah. This is one of the problems and why I wanted to try it out in everything they're doing is like a 2-for-1. I'm doing this now, I don't want them to get card draw. We do expose our Light Scribe, but we need to play around as though we don't. They have the Gold Span as well. They'll race us pretty quickly. So they are going full up the curve too. Dog doesn't really do much. I think we're not dead this turn, but we're basically dead. We can't really race them at this point. Okay, so let's give this one more shot, see how it goes. This is something I want to try out. The idea was there, but we might need to go black in this version for actual removal. There's also like the card draw. Like, the green instants aren't doing much. Like, I'd rather kill their creatures. Relying solely on Kabira tactics isn't great. We go first. I'm actually going to lead on the Temple of Plenty. I want to be able to protect this Luminancer. So we'll see how this goes. So the downside to this line is we don't get to attack now. We could have done both next turn. But they did show red, so if they go to something like Stomp, so here we just make this 3 toughness. I guess I could have done hexproof. That maybe made more sense because then they don't get the Bone Crusher afterwards. Yeah, I should have done the other way. So I have a chance here. I think we're just doing this and saying go. I have Snake Skin. So if they just go Bone Crusher here, I have a way to protect. Gruul with Faceless Haven. Yeah, because they wouldn't have had this creature now. So there's lines with this deck just to figure out. This has the upside if they have bigger burn-based removal, but I guess Bone Crusher is the most relevant. Cool. Cool. So here... So let's go Snakeskin. And then we can put a counter on this, but I think we put a counter here. Let's put a counter here. They're not quite dead. If they didn't block, we could have killed them. Actually, I think we... No, we couldn't have done the 12. So we'll just leave this as protection. So a good chunk of damage there. The show of confidence was actually really sweet. Just being able to copy itself. Sure. Line. That's 7. So it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So lethal. Alrighty. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Turn 4 kill. Or turn 5 kill. So they're just Gruul, Caskets, Magistrate, Giant Killers. Get rid of Crash Throughs. Get rid of Sentinels. 2 cards to cut. I think on the play 1 Tolski. And then -1 Adventurous. I guess this always draws, so if they chump block, this is better. It's also instant speed, so we can play with the Bone Crusher, which is nice. Okay, so we know Snakeskin to protect. Also, it puts a counter on it, which is relevant. This hand's very slow. We have to this deck mulligans very poorly. So this is something to consider as well. Usually when you do these like synergy-based decks, the problem you run into oftentimes is you have the wrong half problem. So in Historic, you now have cards like Brainstorm that better lets you play around. Did I miss a line drop? So I think we do lead with this. I guess I could have done this, because then it prevents them from playing these Bone Crushers. That might have been the right play. But this does present a target that they may want to stomp here. Yeah, in retrospect, probably should have done this. That's a weird attack. So I have two options here. I could Kabira Takedown, or I could Dranith. I think we just do this. Do this. Hope they don't have Embercleave. Next turn I could Snakeskin, and then Kabira take down the Lovestruck Beast. They could also have the Great Henge. So yeah, the line of doing this on 2 is probably the smarter play. If they have Embercleave, they have Embercleave. Crush the Weak. Alrighty. Each turn. Okay. So we can do like protection if they have like another Crush the Weak. I can also Kabira take down their creature if they try to turn on Lovestruck. I think we just pass the turn here. Whale. So much snake skins. I think that's fine. We fizzle this. Goldspan Dragon. This is kind of, again, like the problem that we're running into. Where, like, we have those explosive turns, but when they bring in more interaction. So I can do this. I can... Snakeskin here. So I could Snakeskin Kabira next turn and take out this Goldspan Dragon, so I think we just block here. Do they have like a fight spell? Trying to make this big enough to attack through the Lovestruck Beast. I'm really surprised we saw Faceless Haven out of them. They play a lot of non-snow lines. So we have to do that. Not much playing around that, really. And I guess I can do this on... Still think we do this. for one here. So what's the best card in our deck right now? Show of Confidence doesn't do too much. Defiant Strike's not big enough to get this. Glass Casket, just get this out of the way, start attacking in. Could be decent. So that's something we want. They get running Shatter Skulls, I can't do much there. That'll be good in a turn. If they top another gold span, I don't want that to happen. Like, can you have a miss one turn? You're not drawing cards. Yeah, we're dead. Missing a line drop there hurts. Okay, so they are on a gold span plan, so we may want the Arachniers. They also are on Crush the Weak. Snakeskin was good. I think Tolski was fine overall. They are on Crush the Weak. I still think we just run it like this. Just hope for a better opener. Take it, as with all aggro decks, let's take this one on the play. So Crush the Weak out of them. We want to be mindful if we are overcommitting. Anything that puts counters on to get over 2 power will be good. But I think the big thing with this configuration is just the inability to kind of refill. Like we had the mulligan a couple times, and then you just can never really catch up. So we'll test it out. See how this game goes, and then we'll try out other color configurations in the future. I think black-white might be the best in the end. Even just like post board, you can do, like in this matchup, we can bring in hard instant speed removal, stuff like Heartless Act, which would be good. You can also bring in like Duress versus the Yorion decks. So there's options there that you get in those color pairings. Can we have like a game where I don't have to mulligan every time? I mean, it's got spells. Put this back. Question is, do I lead on this into this? Or do I scry first? I think we go Savior on 1, scry on 2. Yeah. Looking for a land here. The decision to scry there, like, this gets us a point of damage in, but it lets us have at least a turn to draw to see what we need. Because if we drew a land, then we're more inclined to want to dig for a spell. So it's just kind of seeing what comes up. So now they're going to see, like, okay, what can we have that would protect this Selfless Savior, perhaps? But really what we want to do is get this Light Scribe down. Eddie. I think just us controlling their board is reasonable. This is going to gain him a bunch of card advantage. Let's take it out of the way. This playing it out this turn doesn't do a whole lot. So let's go green here. Get the squirrel engine going. So here if they go Bone Crusher, I can go Giant Killer, play out the Giant, or play out the Human Peasant. This also lets me get an attack in. Bring in Snakeskins out. Sometimes you see Snakeskin out of these decks. So I think we just do this turn. The reason being, next turn I can always keep up a protection spell for it to kind of buff our creatures. So this could be like Goldspan. Yep. So we have Lumineancer. So I can tap this down. So I can do this. I think I actually like doing this. If they have Crush the Weak, I can't tap down for the turn. So I can tap the Dragon here. If they have Crush the Weak, then I could protect. They have Faceless, so good to know about that. But we might be able to catch them in combat. Let's just go ahead and tap that. So that is 5 mana. Not gonna lie, that's kind of a weird one. So I think we tap down here. Draw 2. Snakeskin's not bad. Next turn I'll just try to like throw out a whole bunch of damage. That's not good. Hit me for 9 here. So I gotta try to kill them next turn. Probably should have kept that, but they still have enough to turn on Cleave here anyways. Yeah, they got me. Magecraft's all their stuff. Alright, so that's the deck. Kind of some cool ideas to it, but I don't think that's the final version where we want to stay. But let me know what you think, if I missed anything. if you'd build it any different in green-white or if you'd go a different color. But appreciate all the support. And as always, if you can, drop a like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a great one.